next in my life? What do I want to do now? And what I've been saying right now, it's the perfect time to really think about what has been going on the last month in your life and what it is that the eclipse showed you. And now with this new moon, crescent moon, because actually in the ancient ways, the crescent moon, which if you look outside is now peaking, was actually the most powerful time for manifestation. I know in this modern age, we really focus a lot on the new moon. And the new moon is the dark moon where we put our seeds down and we kind of release and we begin a new cycle. But in the ancient ways, it was the crescent moon that was the most powerful part of manifesting. And it was the time when we really sat with the celestial energies and we really went deep into who we are and our path and our destiny and what it is we want going forward. So it's really right on cue that you're feeling exhausted because you're kind of releasing. Exhaustion is really a releasing energy. It's like telling you, okay, we need to integrate, we need to process, we need to go deeper within and see what the next steps are. So when you're exhausted and tired, it's a good time to just lay back, relax, rest, and think about now what it is you want going forward, especially now that we've passed the eclipse and we're in that first new moon and we're heading into solstice, which is going to be very powerful this year. I also wanted to talk about how this year, why it's really important to get clear with your vision and manifestations and your way forward is because next year is going to be what we call the year of the new fire. Especially May, exactly 1 year from now, May of 2024, is in the Aztec calendar, the Tonopawali, is when one fire is ending, so another fire can begin. And we're going to see a lot of changes from then, from now until then. And just think about how things have already been changing, right? And Kathleen says, yes, things have been changing in my life. At first looking at it, I thought it was dark, but on reflection, everything, when it's change, it's sometimes overwhelming. It's sometimes hard. It's hard because we get comfortable with where we are, but a lot of things are going to be changing in this next year. And it's really good to understand your own cycles and especially the cycles of the moon and know when to start things and when to finish things. So this new moon is really a time of getting to the heart of what it is and thinking about in 1 year's time, what is my vision? Not just like 1 month's time, because we have one solid year of hitting our vision. And this year in our calendar system is the year of the arrow. It's like the reed, and that's what we make arrows from. It's that really strong grass that grows near the swamp, like what do they call it? Cattails, they call it reed. It's that year. It's the time to get really clear with what it is you want and the mark that you're headed towards. Like, where is your arrow headed to? And this is the time to really get that vision going. And then what are the steps necessary for me to hit that mark? Because we've got like one solid year of like really working with this universal energy, this primal energy to really get things in motion. And then think about like in 1 year's time, you could be at your mark where you want to be. You said things were dark, but on reflection, it may not be as true. Yeah, it's, with life, everything goes up and down. Everything goes up and down. In fact, my mom said, if it doesn't go up and down, you're not living. Just think about it that way. So sometimes the darkest things will lead us to the lightest of things. So if we think about it in that way, we can survive anything. And that's really the teachings for this time. The teachings of this time and the prophecies and what the ancestors left us all talk about how you have to go inside for the answers. Nothing is outside of you. Everything is inside of you. Because if you don't understand what's inside of you, everything outside is going to be scary and chaotic. But when you understand who you are and the foundations of who you are, and you find your inner stability and you're not moving and shaking, that's when you're going to hit your mark. That's when you're going to be able to ride those waves of the up and down, because everything's going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. That's what they call the law of rhythm. The law of rhythm is constantly moving, like music. It's moving up and down, but there's a constant beat. You know how, like, for those of you who are musician, there's a constant beat. It's like 2/4 time, 4/4 time. There's constant beat. And that's the beat of the universe. That's the primal energy that I'm talking about. That's what you want to tap into, not the melody that's always going up and down, but the beat, which is the heartbeat of Mother Earth, which is the energy that we tap into when we're really manifesting. It says you want to continue healing and be better as a person emotionally. Yeah. And I think that's the thing you're talking about, is stability, because with emotions go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, right? And so imagine, what is it that you have to create in your life that is going to be the stability, so that even though things are going up and down, what is your heartbeat? What is the rhythm that always stays the same? And those are what we call the constants in our life. We have constants, and then we have variables. Variables are always changing, but the constants are what we want to focus on. Your daughter moved across country with her family. Oh, that's hard. If they're far away from you, that's like giving you a lot of space and time to think about things, right? Especially if you're really used to seeing them all the time. Oh, yeah. Her time to bloom out from under a strong mother. That's a really interesting thing, because this last eclipse was really about healing the mother wound. And it's interesting you say that. It's like really about her stepping out on her own, because she's healing and she's finding her independence and her truth, right? And then I probably will make the relationship much better and stronger too. Be much more assured and confident. And then when she really needs her mom, she'll call. Good evening, Divine Discernment. I love that name. Divine Discernment 111. That's actually really powerful, because we're also in a 111. One is the number of the primal. Actually, the primal energy is 0. You know how you always talk about the 0 point? That's where we want to get to right now, is the reset. And you're hearing that buzzword everywhere. You're hearing that buzzword everywhere. The 0 point. That's what we're calling primal energy. That's the primordial mother. Oh, you're welcome, Sunflower. That's why you're here, right? Yeah. That's hard to let go. I think one of the hardest relationships is the mother-daughter. It's one of the hardest relationships because it's such a strong bond. It's a very strong bond. Women and mothers and daughters form very close bonds, and it's very emotional, and it's very hard too. When you have a strong mother, it's hard for the daughter to find their own wings. And then sometimes when you don't have a nurturing, caring mother, it's also very hard. There's a lot of aspects to the mother wound, and the mother wound is all about the emotions. So when we're talking about primal energy, a lot of it has to do with our relationship to our mother, and not just our mother, our physical mother, but Mother Earth. Think about in our world right now, what is our relationship to Mother Earth? How are we taking care of her? How are we honoring the original instructions? How are we taking care of the environment for the next 7 generations? Those were the original instructions, was how are we going to, take care of the earth? And that's our first mother. And how we take care of the earth is a direct reflection of our relationship with our own mother as well. So it's a very deep thing. And when we talk about primal energy or the 0 point, what we're really talking about is our authentic emotions, our authentic energy. You know, a teacher of mine told me a long time ago that the very foundation of who we are, it has to be like authentic in order for it to be powerful. And so when we repress our emotions and we shove them down, we are no longer authentic. And authentic rage, or what they call sacred rage, is more powerful than inauthentic niceness or politeness, or trying to appease everybody. That's not powerful. The real power is when we can be authentic with our emotions, and we can express them, and we can heal them, and we can learn to understand them, and not let them rule over us or take over. You know how emotions can really take over, and they can really mess up your life? Emotions are one of the most powerful forces on planet Earth, and that's a very primal energy. There's very primal things to it. Like, when you're, think about what are the primal energies. Of course, there's the sexual energy. That's a very primal energy. Anger, rage, that could be a very primal energy. It's like an energy that just, and you think about it. Think about, like, very primal energies have a very strong urge attached to it. And if we don't heal those urges and the unhealed wounded parts of those urges, they can really run havoc. That's why a lot of people have addiction problems. They have problems with those urges because they take over. But at the same time, those urges that are very primal are very powerful. And when we can use them for the good versus, destruction, like creation, like sexual energy can be used to create a new life, versus destroy. They can also destroy our lives because people get taken over by these energies and pick the wrong partners, or, have too many partners, or get diseases, or all this stuff. So it's like thinking about now in our life, what are the primal energies in our life? What is the healing around those primal energies? And how can we use those primal energies for creation versus destruction? And then thinking about, like, the long-term effects of 1 year. That's why I wanted to talk about it today, because it's almost exactly 1 year from now that we'll have this new fire. And this is, most people won't even know, but it's one of the most powerful moments of our life. If you are, I would say, like, probably over the age of like 25, you may never see this again in your life. It's a 52-year cycle. Like the babies and stuff, they'll be older, but they'll see another 52-year cycle. But we who are adults, we won't have this opportunity. And this is a life-changing, generational changing thing. Every 52 years, the last 52-year cycle we went through, we're still living through those changes. It was like when the vaccine was invented, like different vaccines were invented 52 years ago, like was when the computers were just starting. And a lot of the things that now are just our everyday lives were started. So if you look around, like really, from 2024, that's going to be a new beginning. That's a 0 point. And somebody says that you have tickets to visit the 0 point. Is that like a conference or something? Lots of emotions for me back to begin. Yeah. Wow, I'm really meant to be here tonight. This is so full of synchronicities for my current journey. Oh, welcome, Constant Chaos. Hello, dear one. Hello, Rediddy. Hello. Hello, Sonia. This seems to be a creative time for me. I'm working on my wood burning and leather work things. That's good. That's good. That's the things you should be doing with this time, is creativity. Welcome, Shakan. now is the time to really get creative, to think about things. You know, this last eclipse new moon cycle was so powerful, and it was really taking us back to